that's been much discussed this offseason and through the draft season. Can the Bengals, James, we're going to start with you since you botched that lead block. Can they make a run at a title? Is that even like too rich of a conversation to be having?
A title? A division title. I mean,
division title, yeah.
Baby steps. Let's walk before we crawl. I think if you look at the way things work for them and the way Joe Burrow is coming off of this ACL, the early portion of their season is extremely important because obviously he's getting comfortable, getting back into the mix. They're going to depend heavily on a star rookie receiver that they need to make an impact right away. But if you look at the way their schedule slate lays out, they could potentially be 5-1 heading into that Ravens game. They start with the Vikings, Bears, Steelers, Jags, Packers, Lions, Ravens. They could be 5-1 going into that Ravens game. I think what I set this up as, Kay, is this is a team that should get better as the season goes on, get more comfortable as the season goes on. The back end of their schedule, much more difficult, but they could be playing better football by then. I'm not saying they're on the same level as, say, the Browns roster right now or the Steelers or the Ravens, but at the same time, this schedule does help them out a little bit in terms of how they could go about another big step this year under Zach Taylor.
You know, I look at this team and we feel like, all right, the Bengals have such a long way to go, but when he was healthy, they were really good and they were really competitive before his knee exploded in that terrible injury. I mean, week 2, we got our first taste of Joe Burrow as a country. They were on national television. They were on Thursday Night Football. And it's Baker Mayfield and the new look Browns. And Burrow lit the sky with his passing plays and was tough as nails and was running. And here comes this rookie quarterback in his second career start against a formidable Browns defense, and he lit him up. These first few weeks of the season, and they tied the Eagles, I want to say, in a game, or they went late into overtime. I forget how it came out. He was unbelievable in that one. But this week 2 game, look at his stat line in this week 2 game. 61 pass attempts, 316 passing yards, no interceptions, 37 completions. Burrow is awesome. Awesome. So now you give him some other players and you say, all right, here's Jamar Chase, a true number 1 wide receiver, drafted 5th overall. Now you got Trey Hendrickson on defense, who's had 20 sacks in an NFL season. Here you start building it. So yeah, can they win the AFC North title? Well, they got the 4th weakest schedule in the division. The Steelers, we don't know what we're going to get. The Ravens and Browns are both great, formidable teams. It's going to be a long shot. But can they do it? Of course they can do it. A team does it every year. A team always... Washington went from having the second worst record in all of football 2 years ago to the playoffs last year. We saw the Buccaneers go from terrible to Super Bowl champions. This is the NFL. Of course they can compete for the title. They've got a healthy Joe Burrow, and I will bank on this guy to keeping them competitive in a lot of games. Will they win the AFC North title? Well, I'm not betting on anything, and I'm not saying anything. Can they? Sure they can.
I love that you just said you're banking on the Bengals. We all just banked on Big Ben, except for JP over there. Look, I think there's positive vibes flowing down in the Natty right now because of Joey B. Schrags, you're talking about Mr. Football in Ohio, and now the battle of Ohio between the Browns and the Bengals. Look, it's real. They both have a quarterback. They both have somebody with some moxie and somebody that can, make that big throw. I love the explosive plays and all the touchdowns that he threw in college as well as last year. But what really impressed me the most with Joe Burrow last year was he had 5 games where he didn't throw a single interception. As a rookie quarterback, you go back and you think about Peyton Manning coming into the NFL. Was anybody more prepared for the NFL than Peyton Manning when he left Tennessee after staying for an extra year? And yet, he set the record for interceptions by a rookie in the league. Joe Burrow, just 5 interceptions, all right, and 5 games with none. So his ability to take care of the football, not make that mistake, I think is just as impressive as his explosive ability. Now you pair him with Jamar Chase. They picked up Riley Reif, who will help out at tackle. Jonah Williams missed a bunch of games last year. They definitely had some injuries offensively, including Joe Mixon. So I think Mixon coming back healthy. Now this offense, look, they're not just an average offense here. They're explosive. I mean, look at Mixon right here. When he's healthy, when he's not battling a foot injury, this guy he's an explosive runner. I don't think he gets enough credit for how physical he is. And look, in November and December, you're going to need that because things get a little bit dicey in the jungle. You won't see James Palmer getting any duties down there because it's not warm enough. So I think Mixon could be a key to this as much as we're talking about Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Yeah, and Mixon's not even the only one. Great point by you, Sean. I mean, obviously getting Burrow back is huge, and the health of him was a huge problem. But of their 22 starters, guys, only 3 played all 16 games in 2020. That's crazy. And it was Joe Mixon, who missed 10. It was their first rounder and their left tackle, Jonah Williams, who missed 6 games. That was big. And then, friend of the show, DJ Reader, who I love. I was so excited for him to go down there and get paid. Well, he was their prize free agent pickup, and he missed 11 games. So they're getting Burrow back, adding Chase, Hendrickson, like Schrager mentioned. I think that's overlooked and huge. Riley Reef, who Sean mentioned, they're getting a ton of the injured guys back that I just showed you as well. So I don't know if they're contending for the North title, but there's no reason they can't be in the playoff mix, and I hope they are. Okay, up next, for the sake of a fatherly son relationship between Jimmy Palmtrees and his young Jimmy Palm.